Okay. So today we are going to discuss Python keywords and identifier. Here I have opened the Jupyter notebook, and you can see on the right I am running Python 3 on Jupyter notebook. Jupyter notebook da Python 3 ni, and this Jupyter notebook is saved as 01 keywords and identifiers. This is the name of the file corresponding to this notebook. See particular file keywords and identifiers on chapter. Okay. So in Python, Python keywords and identifiers. In Python, every word is classified as either a keyword or an identifier. And we can check the keywords with the following commands. So, import keyword, then print keyword kw list. Let me run this by clicking on the run button. See, run button is the click again. When we run this, we get a list of keywords. Keyword mayam gi list sama thingare false, none, true, and, as, assert, async, await, break, and so on. These are all keywords. Python 3D keywords mayam keywords have these are reserved words that cannot be used as variable names. Keywords have these are reserved words that cannot be used as variable names. Keywords must be written in lowercase. Keywords in lowercase small letter, capital letter have the lowercase have the small letter lowercase, uppercase when higher never small letter, the capital letter higher will use lowercase to mean small and uppercase to mean capital. Different versions of Python may have different lists of keywords. And to check the version of Python, use the following commands. Import sys, print sys.version_info. When we run this command, what do we get? We get the following output. Sys version info measure 3 minus 7. So meaning the Python 3.7. We are using Python 3.7. So in Python 3.7, these are the list of keywords. I can see a message on chat. Okay. Seriously, the security. Let me. Okay. So what is an identifier? An identifier is a name that is given to a variable, function, or class. Variable discuss functions and class we're going to discuss in the next few classes. Functions we discuss class we discuss and rules to be followed when defining identifiers. I don't know. Very high grade identifiers variable name or vi function name or vi class name or vi. We are going to use some names for variables, functions, or classes, and these names are called identifiers. Names define identifiers define we have to follow certain rules. Rules in number one, each identifier must consist of only letters, numbers, or underscore. Identifier letters is in the VI, numbers is in the VI, underscores is in the VI. The first character must be an alphabet or underscore. First character do alphabet natraga underscore. Number three, the keywords cannot be used as identifiers. These are the keywords. These are the keywords, and these are reserved words. These reserved words cannot be used as identifiers. We cannot use these words to name variables, functions, or classes. Word variable name when function name when class name when because they have already well-defined meaning in Python. Must not contain white space. White space ID space bar space space to space to So some examples of valid identifiers are name1. Name1 is a valid identifier. It contains letters and number. Letter yaure, number yaure. The income, this contains only letters, so it is also a valid identifier. So capital I, so small I, capital I, the income, so small I, no income. These two are different. So this Python language is case sensitive. Case sensitive having meaning the see capital the ibaga, upper case the ibaga, lower case the ibaga, and is a canave. AVG underscore wet. AVG underscore wet. So it contains letters, it contains underscore. So this is also a valid Python identifier. Let us see some examples of invalid identifiers. So for example, let me add one cell plus namagi so variable define Karina. The point number 2 the first name of the identifier must be an alphabet or underscore. Alphabet natraga underscore hogadam ni haibneba. Say koi number amna hawala seba. 2 haiseba. 2 haiga 2 haiga kari haisege 2 haiga variable haige. 2 haiga variable haige. This is equal to assign to minus equal to 75. Second variable equal to 75. Now let me run this. Syntax error, invalid syntax. You can see the error, syntax error, invalid syntax. Why is it invalid syntax? Because this two variable, this is the name of an identifier. Identifier money, a variable lower, variable in a two variable and mumming money. This is an identifier, and this identifier starts with a number, which is against the rule. This identifier, it starts with 2, so this is against the rule. Therefore, this is an invalid syntax. Syntax error malane. It is case sensitive. Small income ga capital income ga yenga seba. Say for example, capital income equal to 1000 hari. Enter number, small income equal to 3000 hari. Print within bracket income. So run print income. So run let me run this. Since this is small I select the annotate on over. Spotlight. So print incomes the INCOME. This is small I. Small I. 3000 in print out 3000. If I change this small I to capital I, print income, what will be the output? 1000 or now this is capital INCOME, which I have assigned 1000. So let me run this. It will get 1000. Or you can simply remove this line if it is confusing to you. Lines capital income 1000 hape, small I and how income 3000 hape, and let us say print income. Print capital I and how income. I control enter namage, shift enter namage, shift enter. What is printed? 1000 is printed. And what is 1000? This 1000 is the number which is stored in the variable income, which starts with a capital I. Instead, if I print the word income, which starts with a small I, and let me press control enter, what will I get? I get 3000. Aduna capital I na hobo income haibasiga, small I na hobo income haibasiga, anisi keneba. A word which begins with an uppercase is different from a word which begins with a lowercase in Python. aduna Python da agi identifier name si upper case na ibaga lower case na ibaga kenai. So we say Python is case sensitive boy na hai. Hari ko sige idea jini ko aduga masai sige si muk nuaina ba aina Google Colab su hange Google Colab su hanga thame aduna Google Colab si sida koi sigi import keyword magi Google Colab na seasonally Python je magi list of keyword to yenga sebe ko. So let us copy this. Let us copy this. See loinamak select oro control C namo copy. Google Colab is alasi Colab is selzida hajikidu control V namage control V. Like import keyword print keyword KW list and now let us click on the run cell. Or see aduna Google Colab ki Python dugi patungina magi keywords in the list amatolani. This will print out the list of keywords. According to the based on the Python which is installed in Google Colab. Google Colab the Python dugi patungina list of keywords to the tolane. This is the list of keywords. False, none, true, and, as, assert, async, await, break, class, and so on. So we list it to okay, let us go back to our Jupyter. See a Python version no yang let us copy this. Import sys, control C. So new code toro. So control V. So import sys print sys.version underscore info. So let us run this. So run torsi. Google Colab run tor Python version now. It is also Python 3.7, major 3, minor 7. There we go. Aduna project aina Jupyter notebook to run to see commands in I can also run the same commands in Google Colab. So for those of you who don't have Python installed on your computers, or those of you who don't have computer, you can run Google Colab on your mobile phone browser. This is a file name Torsi. So file name je could change Torsi untitled to having mahuta. Let us say keywords. Enter numbers keywords. So now this is saved as keywords in our Google Colab. Google Colab the IDC keywords.ipython notebook and a chapter over there. So this is all about keywords and identifiers. Identifiers identifiers aina sizinnagadariba variables bu oiro function bu oiro class bu oiro adu sindugi aina piba moida tholiba maming du neba. This is the name given to a variable, functions or class. I couldn't mean thondoi variable or function or class or I couldn't tholiba means identifier ko eba. Identifier ama oigi high target sigi rule marisi follow to whatever never. My white space they have system I could check the whole. So let us check by using a white space. Say that I plus amounts again. So first income higher. First income. So the first white space first white space income equal to 65,000 hertz. First white space income equal to 65,000. Rule must not contain white space. Identifier name must not contain white space. When I run this program, when I execute this statement, execute I should get an error. Or run let me press run here. I get a syntax error. Syntax error. Invalid syntax. Syntax la I identifier say white space white space white space if I want to differentiate between first income, second income, third income, I white space but we can use an underscore. So first income says first space income hiring mahota first underscore income hire. First underscore income hire equal to 65,000. That means first underscore income haiba variable amok create tore aduga 65,000 haiba number is sigi variables that assigned to cell have. So let me run this cell again by clicking here run. The error message that means this is a valid statement. This is a valid Python statement. So let us print the value which is stored in first income. So let me write print first income. And let me run. First income hariba variables that stored toriba 65,000 have those the print already. So first underscore income is a valid name for an identifier. See, and we can also try running the same statement in Google Colab. So for example, Google Colab the first space income equal to 65,000 65000, and let me run it here. I should get a syntax error because there is a white space. The white space wavy line syntax error invalid syntax. First income the mark identifier names the white space. So let us remove the white space. Let us remove this white space. Let us use an underscore instead, and let me run it again. Run there is no error message. Error message and what does it mean? It means that now this is a valid statement. As you print over minus print or say print first underscore income. First underscore income. And let me run it. 65,000. So and the value 65,000 which is stored in the variable first income is printed. Jupyter notebook run to statement Google Colab run to so we get the same result. So Anaconda install Google Colab run to okay. So let me move to the next part, which is data type. It's opening. In the meantime, do you have any question regarding keywords and identifier? Keywords and identifiers. Do you have any question? Later, okay. Then let us continue with next topic. Oh.
Hello. They can use as variable names. Keywords. Keywords.
Keywords
keywords ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯑꯣꯏꯅ ꯂꯥꯛꯀꯗ꯭ꯔꯣ ꯂꯥꯏꯕ꯭ꯔꯦꯔꯤꯗ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯂꯩꯅꯦꯕꯀꯣ
ꯂꯥꯏꯕ꯭ꯔꯦꯔꯤꯗ ꯂꯩꯅꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ Python installation ꯁꯤꯗ ꯃꯁꯥ ꯃꯊꯟꯇ ꯃꯣꯏꯅ ꯃꯅꯨꯡꯗ already define ꯇꯧꯔꯒ ꯂꯩꯖꯔꯕ word ꯁꯤꯡꯅꯦꯕ ꯃꯣꯏꯒꯤ user word ꯅꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯁꯤꯗꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ Python installation ꯁꯤꯗ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯂꯩꯖꯈ꯭ꯔꯕꯅꯦ ꯍꯣꯏ
ꯑꯗꯣ ꯁꯔ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯂꯣꯏꯕꯗꯅꯦ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ exit ꯇꯧꯕꯗꯣ
ꯍꯣꯏ
exit ꯇꯧꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ quit ꯅꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯒ exit ꯑꯅ ꯏꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯁꯨꯝꯗꯒꯤ first bracket ꯈꯛꯇ ꯏꯕꯗ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯌꯥꯔꯕ
ꯌꯥꯏ quit ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯒ first bracket ꯍꯥꯞꯄ
ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯤ printꯀꯤ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯂꯩꯇ꯭ꯔꯦꯕꯀꯣ ꯑꯩ ꯁꯨꯝ ꯌꯦꯡꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯗ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛ first bracketꯀꯤ ꯃꯅꯨꯡꯗ ꯑꯣꯏꯅ ꯍꯥꯞꯄꯒꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯗꯦꯕ exit ꯇꯧꯕ
quit ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯒ first bracket ꯇꯨ open ꯑꯃ close ꯑꯃ ꯇꯧꯔꯒ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯃꯅꯨꯡꯗ ꯀꯩꯝꯇ ꯍꯥꯞꯄꯣꯏꯗꯕ
ꯃꯅꯨꯡꯗ ꯀꯩꯝ ꯍꯥꯞꯇꯕ ꯍꯣꯏ
ꯃꯅꯨꯡꯗ ꯀꯩꯝꯇ ꯍꯥꯞꯇꯕ Okay, let us move to the next topic, which is data type. So data type in Python. What is a data type? A data type represents the type of data stored into a variable or memory. The data types which are already available in Python language are called built-in data types. Python language the data type to built-in data types. The built-in data types are of 5 different types. None type, numeric type, sequences, sets, mappings. These are the 5 data types which are built-in data types of Python. So none types se discuss ourselves. None type. The none data type represents an object that does not contain any value. I repeat, the none data type represents an object that does not contain any value. It is called none object. And one of the uses of this data type is that it is used inside a function as a default value of the arguments. I repeat, one of the uses of this data type is that it is used inside a function as a default value of the arguments. When calling the function, if no value is passed, then the default value will be taken as none. So that is when calling the function, if no value is passed, then the default value will be taken as none. As example, the quit haraga within bracket karim to yaudedana empty oidana kosamananda. When calling the function quit, no value is passed. As I give inside the bracket to empty or the default value is taken as none data type level. Within bracket manung the yaram targadi value kaya yaram targadi arguments never argument amat yaram dragadi none type level. Next, the numeric type. Numeric type. The numeric types represent numbers. These are 3 subtypes. Int int for integers, float for floating point numbers, complex for complex numbers, boolean. Is 3 types of in float complex boolean to 3 subtypes four subtypes on habo. Int is for integer, float is for floating point number, complex is for complex numbers, boolean is for boolean numbers. So let us first discuss int data type. The int data type represents an integer number. Integers in Python 3 are of unlimited size. Python 2 has 2 integer types, int long integer long go. In Python 3, there is no long integer anymore. Long integer Python 3 the later Python 2 the integer long integer integer type makalani surami adu Python 3 the int so for example, the following command stores an integer number -34 into a variable small a. Here small a is called an int type variable since it is storing an integer value. So a equal to -34. Type within bracket a. Say the type is a function, this type is a function and the argument is a. Function this function prints the data type of the variable a. type function function argument function arguments variable type a here a is a variable and this function prints the data type of this variable a. Variable a is data type to never mana printer is the variable a is data type se kari organi variable a is data type se integer organi. Why integer? Because the number -34 which is an integer is stored in the variable a. A variable is the minus 34 hariba integer si hapchen banina assign toroga lere banina a hariba variable si data type si kari orani integer data type neba. In short, we write it as int. Smine togdana, the float data type represents floating point numbers. A floating point number is a number that contains a decimal point. Decimal point jawa numbers into a floating point number kawi. For example, 3.5 minus 0.09, etc. are called floating point numbers. Floats may also be in scientific notation with capital E or small e indicating the power of 10. So for example, 2.5 E2, this is nothing but 2.5 times 10 to the power 2, which is equal to 250. So example, num variable define 3.14159 floating point number num variable assign to num equal to 3.14159 3.14159 floating point number number num variable assign to and then you type num within bracket num type function num variable magi data type to print magi data type num variable a floating point number store num variable data type floating point data type. Say command run to float and thola smine complex data type discuss session